This is the Book Deal Podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories of the authors behind your favourite books.
No matter what stage of writing you are at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strong.
And I'm Madeleine Cleary, and join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors.
One deal at a time.
The Book Deal Podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on, and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging.
Good evening, Madeleine. How are you going?
I love that we're catching up on a Saturday night again, but we've swapped.
Mm-hmm.
You have the glass of red in hand this time, and I have a cup of tea. Not kombucha, but a cup of tea.
See, I'm not that boring, but I am still in my pajamas though, which is pretty good.
I mean, you look fantastic. I was just saying when you came on, so you're actually, do you want to describe your current situation?
Sure. Yes, I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I've only had one glass of wine, I promise. In the passenger seat of our car because we're camping We're away in our caravan at the moment, school holidays. And yes, I've got a great setup with the phone perched on top of the dashboard and a camping light. It's a bit cool outside, so I've got my son's hoodie on my legs and my Ugg boots on. I'm overlooking the beautiful lake, actually. So it's actually really nice.
It actually kind of looks like horror like story vibes outside.
Oh, God. You're always thinking storylines, aren't you? You know, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty scared for you.
Okay.
It's very
I'll just
dark.
I'll just lock the door.
Please do. But I was just saying, like, Tina's like, oh yeah, I'm in my pajamas. Da, da, da. She has the most perfect glow about her right now. Like the camping light is doing really nice things. So
I think I should just do this for all our
I reckon
podcasts, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you
Good
look
plan.
and also I'm assuming as well you've got a very nice glow because you're basking in book 2 release glow as well.
I know.
Congratulations.
I am. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Nika and the Storm. So book 2 of the Wilder Zoo series came out just this week, just a few days ago, which is really exciting. Very exciting.
And I want to actually share with the listeners our WhatsApp chat the morning that Nika and the Missing Storm and the Storm I just combined your book 1 and book 2.
Yeah.
Nika and the Storm came out.
Yeah.
I think I was pretty early actually. I was awake early.
Yes.
Well, for me, it was like 6:30 and I was like, oh, well, Tina will be awake. And I messaged you like, happy pub day, like just something random. And you replied, I forgot.
Okay, I know that sounds terrible, but in my defense, it was I had already been up for like 2 hours, Madeleine.
Of course,
I'd processed the emotions. No, but at that point when you had messaged me, I was on the treadmill. I was just getting some steps in before our drive away. And
wait, you're looking and peering outside the window. Oh my God.
No, the lights on the car were flashing and I was wondering if I was going to set the alarm off.
Holy crap. My heart actually just stopped for you then. I'm like, are you about to be murdered?
I am literally in between 2 caravans and there's it's the car next door. It's fine. I'm not going to be murdered. If we do, it's live on air. So we will have a recording of it. We could find who did it and then you can write a book about it.
Oh my God, this is like a great plot actually to a novel. Live on air podcast.
Yes.
And a murder. Oh my gosh, no one steal that. I'm going to copyright that. Okay.
Okay.
Right,
yes.
you forgot.
So in my defense, I was up. I had processed the thing, and we had such a busy day. And of course I knew it. Of course I knew it was that day, and I'd spoken about it 1,000 times and the night before. But I think because we were getting up and we're getting out of the house, because it was very different this time. Book 1, I had I think 2 weeks off or a week off of work before it came out, so I had all this time to sort of bask in the glow of book release, whereas this time I worked up until the day before. Kids were on school holidays, so it was hectic, and just a lot of life was sort of creeping in, and I was on the treadmill ready to go. And it was just funny because when you did text me, I think it was just I really felt like, oh, this is so different to book 1, where I most certainly had the day all to myself and to sort of just really spend on it. But you know what I think it is? Because obviously the excitement is still absolutely there, and just it is not lost on me, like the achievement of having another
Of
book
course.
out. It's, I think with your first book, you go from zero literally to 100 overnight.
Yeah.
So you go from zero, you're not a published author, and then the next day you're a published author, and messages are coming in, and Instagram's coming in, and people are posting and reposting and sharing. It's the first time any you see like your book from someone else on
Mm.
Instagram, say. So maybe one of the bookstagrammers have done a review, or one of your friends has seen it in the shop and they've posted it. And I think it's that first time that you ever see anything, and it's all just, it literally goes from 0 to 100.
It's almost
And
like a switch has been turned on in a dark room and it's suddenly
yes,
it's bright and
100%.
you're very visible all of a
Yes.
sudden.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a lot, and it's
Mm.
really busy. And then you're getting used to just all those things, and how to navigate that. And so, and because it's only been like 6 months since,
Yes.
Nika and the Missing Key came out, and now book two is out, it felt like, it definitely wanes from that 100% to like, maybe 50 at times, to like
It's a
back up.
mood
And then
light. It's a dim mood
it
light.
is, it's
Mm.
dimmed, and then it kind of flickers, and then
Mm.
it just starts getting brighter and brighter, I think, because you're already booking in events for other things, not even just for a book launch, but, because you now have published author with a book out and another one coming out, then, people are asking to do workshops. So you're very much still in the wheels are still turning on
Mhm.
it, I think.
Mhm.
So by the time this happened, it was like I was already sitting at like 80%. And so when book two came out, it was back up at
Yeah.
100%, but it just wasn't that big leap,
Yeah, that makes
which is
sense.
nice, because that's
And I
probably pretty
suppose too, because
unsustainable.
do you think as well, because you're writing a series and it's book two, that it's that continuation as well, and it's sort of
Yes.
less like startling because it's not like you're writing in a different genre or something completely
Yes.
brand new that you have to
Mm,
really, because you've got now people who are interested, a readership,
mm.
know Tina and Nika and associate the two of you together.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they're coming. If
Mm.
when you have another book that you haven't yet maybe signed or have a date for, there's still lots of unknowns, I think. So,
Mhm.
or a lot of time in between, a year or 2 years. Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
you'd still have that
true.
big leap.
Because it's
Yeah.
actually, I just realized it's actually only like 5 months between
Mm,
between
yeah,
Missing Key and Storm.
yeah.
That's
Since February.
actually not that long. Have you seen Nika and the Storm yet in a bookshop?
I have not. I
Wow.
have
I,
not.
I figured you wouldn't have because you've literally been away camping since.
Yeah, and we're somewhere that doesn't have a lot of, we're not very close to bookstores. So, and also I've got the kids with me, and they're so
Yeah.
sick of being
Yeah.
dragged to bookstores. They're like, "We've done that, Mum. We've seen your book.
Yeah,
We don't need
you're
to see it
done. You're one
again."
and done. That's it.
Yeah, 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 that's it. Whatever, get over it, Mum. Stop talking about books all the time.
Have they read it yet?
No, nope.
So is your first, so wait, when do you get back home?
Oh, in a couple of days. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Is your
will.
first mission to go and see it and find it?
Yeah, I think I will. I'll go out and go for a little wander and go and
Mm.
see if I can see it. Yeah, that'll be
Mm.
nice.
That'll be
Yes.
very exciting. And
I
your first
know.
event is on the weekend, is it next weekend?
No, I have two library author talks for kids, Gold Coast Libraries, and then I have a workshop, Quick Brown Fox. So
Oh,
by the
yes,
time
that's right.
this airs, it'll probably be they'll probably be over.
Hmm.
But then I also do have a book launch at Quick Brown Fox, which is also the same time and date as their third birthday celebrations. So anybody in the Brisbane area, make sure you get in touch with Quick Brown Fox about their third birthday, because that's coming up soon. They're going to have a little party.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, they're a beautiful
Wine
bookstore.
or wine or
Mhm.
tea kind of party.
Oh, oh, I know there's going to be cake.
Cake
I know
party.
that. Yeah,
That
cake
sounds
party. Yeah.
amazing.
But what about you, Madeline? You're also glowing as always. What's happening?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it feels like lots of things have been happening, but also not a lot. But the really exciting thing last week, I went to Emma Pagan's launch of her debut novel, When Sleeping Women Wake, which was at Amplify Bookstore in Melbourne, which is an amazing bookshop which is dedicated to promoting diverse voices. So it's this beautiful bookstore, and Emma has become a friend. She helped me launch the Butterfly Women in Canberra, and so says she's from Canberra. So it was awesome to be able to be there. And so she was in conversation with our friend of a podcast,
Hmm.
Parker.
Hmm.
And they were both brilliant. So I could have sat and listened to them chat all night. So it was so fun. And I've read Emma's book and it is wonderful. So I do highly recommend it if you're a fan of historical fiction or just a fan of just interesting stories. It's set in Hong Kong in World War II. It's set in Hong Kong during the Japanese occupation. So it's a brilliant book. So I'm really excited to see. I was really excited to see that one come out into the world. So that was really fun. And then the other thing, I suppose, is a progress update for drafting of book two.
Yeah, so are you gonna check in and give us the stats?
Yes.
Where are you at?
I couldn't remember where I was at last fortnight, so I went and Google, like I didn't Google it, but I searched in our archive because we can search the terms, and I was at 25,000 words a fortnight ago. So
Awesome.
I'm pleased to tell you, Tina, that as of today, I'm at 37,000. So,
Oh, wow. Awesome. Awesome spot to be in.
but it's getting harder. It's
Is
getting
it? Is it
harder.
because, okay, do you feel like you've come to the end of that natural act one now, and now you're getting into that middle act two kind of thing? And that is the struggle, isn't it? That's
Yes.
the bit that you sort of want to run through in a way to get to your act three, isn't it? Because that gets
Yes.
super exciting again. So it's that middle, it's that we never quite worked it out. Is it soggy or saggy middle?
Saggy or soggy middle. Who
They're
knows?
both the same.
Do you know, and I've been dying to tell you this, and I thought I'd save it for the podcast because I feel like you're going to be so pleased.
Oh, please tell me.
So today, I was writing, I think because it's a bit more, this book is probably a little bit more crime focused, maybe.
Mhm.
There's a strong crime narrative. And as I'm writing, so I'm up to, yeah, that sort of saggy middle, soggy middle. And to date, I had just been sort of revealing slowly like who the murderer is as I go through. And then I discovered this huge gaping plot hole about 10,000 words above. And so I was like, oh no, I've got to go fix that. So I went and fixed that, deleted words, my word count went down. And then as I'm writing it, I just realized I'm like, oh, I'm writing a crime book and I have no red herrings. Like I'm just revealing the murderer slowly because I'm
Mm.
a pantser and I don't plot anything. And I'm trying to
Mm.
understand what who
Mm.
the murderer is,
Mhm.
and I'm just slowly unveiling it to me. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's no one else. So I had a whole cast of characters. So I'm like, oh, I'll do some red herrings. But I was like, oh, I'll invent new characters. I'm like, no, 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 I have these existing characters. I can transform this, right? So I'm sitting there outside on my deck and my brain is exploding because I'm like, holy crap, it's everything, the plot, the story, the characters are all just in my head. Nothing is written down. And I was like, okay, what would Tina do? And Tina would do a she would plot it out and she would do a mind map, something. So I got a big sheet of paper. This is literally today. I sat on the floor of my house and I wrote out every character's name and then I drew links between each of them to
Mhm.
work out. And because when you're writing these, like from a crime perspective, you have to
Mhm.
also think about people know different parts of the story and parts of the information. And so, yeah, I've got this huge map now that I drew, and I was able to create all these connections between people, and that's all my red herrings. And I
That's so
plotted
cool.
it out.
Yeah. Did you feel like it just flowed for you once you started writing it and even maybe opened up new ideas or brought forward new ideas that you sort of hadn't really? I mean, obviously it brought forward
Yes,
your red herrings. So
it
that's huge.
created everything for me. Like the
Mm.
whole, basically the next, it's not like I've plotted it out. It's just that I've helped understand who
Yeah.
knows who and how and
Yes.
who's hiding this piece and who's got a
Yeah.
secret and who's hiding something
Yeah. And
and
that's really important.
yes,
Obviously.
backstory and yeah.
Yeah. So did you know who the killer was before always?
I suspected I had a person in mind,
Yeah.
and so I was like, "Oh, I think it's going to be this person," but I didn't know how the main character would suspect other people.
Yeah.
like why they
Yeah.
would have any interest in this. I just was like, oh, I think it should be this person, but I didn't know why. But now I know why.
Ah,
And that's really helpful. So I'm going to start writing again tomorrow with all this in mind.
yeah.
I probably will have to go back and layer things, but I'm going
Yeah.
to just keep moving forward and I'll do that later.
Yeah. And it
Mm.
could change. It could still change, because
Yes.
you won't know until you
Yes.
write it. But at least it's kind of clear now and you're not sort of wasting time by potentially keeping on writing and going, oh, I didn't create that link or I missed that link or I could have really included that there. You've
Yes.
got that now. And you know what my other theory is on that is you were
Mm.
using pen and paper. I
Yes.
just have this, I certain that like if you get stuck, and honestly, it doesn't even matter how messy it is, and maybe you can't even read it again. But sometimes I've written pages and pages and pages in notebooks trying to get it to work, like the storyline to work. Like if you do have a plot hole or it's
Mm.
a timeline thing,
Yes.
I don't know what it is about it. And I'm pretty sure I can find some science to back it up, that it just stimulates that creativity or that problem solving or something of pen to paper. So listeners out there, if you're stuck, get pen and paper out and don't worry about how messy it is. Just write it down because it is a connection straight into your creative soul. I'm
I
sure of it.
agree. The pen and paper thing helped, and
Mm,
getting off my laptop because I couldn't space it the way I wanted, like make it very expansive.
mm-hmm.
Pen and paper allows you to be really
Yeah.
expansive.
And you can like circle, you can underline it, you can like
Yes.
do like go over it 1,000 times and just like cross it out. But when
Yes.
it's in like a Word document or something, it just gets super messy.
It does. And
Mm,
I felt like I did a few messy versions before I did the final. And then I hand
yeah.
wrote out the final.
Yeah.
And it was just solving everything. So I think because I found this huge plot hole this morning, I think that really spurred me to think really carefully about this
Yeah.
whole story.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I did that. And
That's
it's not,
awesome.
and I can keep my pantser vibes because it just is creating an
Hmm.
understanding and awareness at a holistic level.
Yeah.
But how it gets to the end, I still don't know. And that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I think that's it. It's just a tool to use, like
Yes,
plotting and all those sort of, you're just trying to work out the characters and the connections and stuff. And it's all just
exactly.
a tool to get you to the end. And it's smart because what else? You're not just going to write thousands and thousands of words that aren't going to get you where you want to go. Like
Yes,
that's
and back
smart
in the
to
day,
combine.
that's what I would have done, just written thousands
Yeah.
and deleted them. I think this might make me then, for this book, a plantser.
Good answer. Yeah.
Do you think?
I like that. Yeah, I guess so. Congratulations, Madeline.
Thank
I've
you.
brought you over to the dark side. No.
I'm growing up as a writer. It's very exciting. But I do think that it's important when you're writing crime to just have this it's important. Otherwise, I mean, you can still pants it, but then I think you have to go back and
At
just,
some point, you still have to plot it to even
yes,
just find your timeline. Because remember, we don't want to drive in the car for 26 hours without a break.
exactly.
We we need to keep going. We need to check it. Hey, but you know what? Something that you might be
Mhm.
really proud of me for
Mhm.
is I have always written in first person. Always.
Yes.
I'm a
Yeah.
first person writer. I mean,
Yes.
and when you write kid that they like, the kids enjoy first person. It's
Put themselves
that
into the book.
yeah, they can get really close to the character. I have just I've been not plotting out, thinking about. Maybe you call it plotting. I don't know. I've been writing, my brain dump that I do where I just like
Yes. Vomit
like this
draft.
and that. Yes, vomity, vomity. I have been like, I can't, how do I make this work? Like, how do I tell the story that I want to tell, but also include, the other characters from their side? And I'm like,
Third person.
third person limited.
Oh.
But like different povs for different chapters,
Oh yeah. So you're doing
multi-pov.
multi-perspective, third person.
Mm,
Close third?
yes, I'm not
Yep. So
sure. Yeah,
not
I'll have.
omniscient third.
No, no.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
a
that's
fan of omniscient third. I get lost.
yeah. No, no, definitely not for kids. I don't
Mm.
think. I think that might be
Yeah.
a bit that. I don't know. There's probably some examples. I don't know. I'll have to investigate a little bit more. Only this morning I was like, oh, I think that's
It
my
felt right.
answer.
It feels right. Yeah.
I think so. I haven't even started writing it yet in that, but anyway, I know that you write third person limited too, don't you?
Yeah, but I think it just depends on the book. And I
Mm,
think though, because you're switching, you'll find like I have switched before and tried first person,
yeah.
and it takes a long time for your brain to switch.
Yes, I think it
You'll
will.
find yourself writing, you'll switch in amongst writing. You'll be like, you'll start writing in first person and then you'll
Yes.
stop and change. And that's normal. But it
Yeah.
depends on like sometimes it'll help. Yeah, I think every book's different and you've just got to work out what book's right. I think
Yeah.
historical fiction, third person kind of works. I like to have that
Yeah.
sort of hovering narrator.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I think it also works in first. It just depends on the story.
Mm.
I'm writing again in, yeah, third person present
Hmm.
tense. And do you know, I actually, there was a review recently of The Butterfly Women, and one the reviewer said normally third person, oh no, sorry, normally present tense is a no-no for her and a red flag. Like she won't read
Oh,
present tense. But she's like, oh, but it worked for this story. So I was like, well, I'm glad it worked. But that's interesting as well that readers have a particular style that
some
they like,
do.
a
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I've been going through my son's books and being and I'm trying to quiz him, and he's like, "What do you mean, Mum?" Like, is it third person or is it? Um, and he just can tell me which ones he likes, and I have a little look at it, and I go, "Oh, okay, that is a lot of them are third." But yeah, he'll just
Mhm.
read anything. But yeah, it is interesting that some people, yeah, have their preference. I think I'm a first person reader as well. I think I
You
like
like,
that.
yeah, first
Yeah,
person? Yeah.
yeah, it feels closer.
Yeah. I mean, and then
Hmm.
there's second person, and that's just,
Yeah, there's lots of things. Anyway, look, I might.
yeah.
It's just this morning that this has come to me. I'll give it a little trial and see how I go. But I thought you
Yeah,
might
let
like
me
to know
know.
that
I
because
love
I'm
it.
always
You're pushing the boundaries of yourself as a writer.
yes,
That's important.
yes. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it actually.
Hmm.
Oh, anyway, there's been lots going on.
Yes.
Aside from just what we've been up to, hasn't there in author world?
Yes, it has been a big couple of weeks, I think. I think coming to end of financial year.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm, mm,
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, it feels like a lot of kind of disappointment in the air. That
mm,
vibe. I feel like I'm hearing it from all directions at the moment, from all different writer friends and groups and places, and authors are very open and which is great, on their social media posts and things as well, which is a nice insight into people's I guess, author lives. But um, yeah, a lot of disappointment from various different sources, I think.
mm,
Like you said, end
mm,
of financial year. So people who have been published in time for, them to receive statements and things
mhm,
are sometimes a little bit disappointed by what they're getting from their sales, I
mm,
suppose,
mm.
and how things
Especially
have been
because,
selling.
I mean, for those listeners that don't know, so authors receive royalties every 6 months, I think, isn't it, Tina?
I think so.
The half point of the year and at the end of the year. And it captured, I think there's a 3 month delay as well.
Mm,
So it would have been sales from like September to March, I think, this year, and then you get paid in June. And of course, you only earn royalties if you've earned out to your advance. I think we've
mm,
gone through this in the money episode about
mhm,
the difference between advance and royalties. And I think perhaps the visual when you see either a $0 royalty statement or a minus, because the minus happens when bookstores return books because they do have sale or
mm,
return rights and they can return books, and that means that sometimes there can be a minus on your statement, and I suppose that is as an author quite disappointing. It's always going to be disappointing, isn't it?
mm,
I
mm.
think every author
Yeah.
dreams of earning out, but I think I remember seeing a stat from the Australian Society of Authors that majority of authors actually don't earn out.
Yes, I've heard that a lot as well. But so can you explain the minus? So that's not, people don't owe that. It's just
No.
it's your sales figures, I guess. So
Yeah, this is
not
my
minus
understanding.
the
And
dollars. Yeah.
I'm probably not the best person, but my understanding is that you don't owe the publisher anything, but you have to earn that money back
Mm,
in future statements to
mm.
start earning again. And it's
Yeah.
only because they've given you perhaps your previous statement. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's something that I've really learned recently is that you actually earn royalties based on the number of sales into bookstores, not necessarily books bought by customers. And so if
Oh,
those, yeah, which I didn't know.
no.
And so if those bookstores then subsequently return the
Oh, of
books,
course. Hmm.
that then is taken off your statement.
That's the minus. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
publishers do withhold a certain proportion of your royalties, at
Hmm.
least initially, to cover for that. But
Hmm.
sometimes that can be a bit more. So it is, I suppose authors, we all know we put so much time and effort into
Hmm.
writing these books. And I mean, I haven't had a statement yet. I'll get my first statement at the end of the year, so I can't really make any comments. But like you, Tina, yeah, I've heard on the grapevine that it has been, a difficult, I suppose. And you think about the situation as well with the cost of living and
Hmm.
the cost of books. And often when cost of living is high, books are going to be the first things that people will
They're a
sacrifice.
luxury item.
They
They're being
are.
classed as now. Yeah. But I think, yeah, and then aside from that, like there's a lot of, or quite a few publishers that have been struggling as well. There are some that are that have closed. There are
Yeah.
some that are really limiting how much they're producing in a year, and I think that just makes the pool of possibility even smaller for authors who are trying to be published, and not just brand new authors or that aspiring authors, like people who have already been published before and are trying to get another deal, and it's just as hard. Um,
Okay, so this sounds very depressing to everyone now. So this is the time
it
where
does
we
sound a bit depressing. Yeah,
don't quit your day job, perhaps, I mean, that's important, isn't it?
that's been like eternal advice though, isn't it? Like
Mm.
you can't. I think everybody is aware that you can't quit your day job. I mean, one day hopefully you can, and I think that's important to always, hold on to that thought and
Mhm.
not get to. But there's also being realistic, I suppose, that comes into it. But yes, no, not trying to be depressing. We just thought that it was worth a little mention on the pod
Mhm.
this week because we do feel that vibe and um yeah, it's also like, there's a lot of competitions that are being drawn at the moment, and there's lots of
Mm.
fellowships that are being awarded. It's a busy time for that. So
Mm.
there's lots of conferences where, with competitions that, people just sort of finding out recently if they've made it through or not. I think it's just that timing of that just seems to be a lot. And so it just feels like there's a bit of a down vibe at the moment, and rightly so when you've been trying really hard. And yeah, I think we just wanted to acknowledge that and take a moment to chat about that because, yeah, it is difficult and it always has been difficult, hasn't it? And
And I guess though
um,
that people aren't alone, like if you are feeling
mm,
that disappointment or you are experiencing those rejections from those fellowships and competitions, that everyone feels this. And I think you are totally validated, and it's okay to feel that.
mhm,
And you don't always have to say, oh well, I have to be grateful for every opportunity I've had,
mm,
and I'm privileged, and it's okay to feel pretty crappy, I think, for a few
mhm,
days. I guess then it's up to you though, if how you respond to that.
mhm,
If it's going to help, inspire you to keep going and do better and feel better. I mean, it's really important. I actually really liked a post. I'm not sure. I don't think you saw this one, Tina, but Kylie Orr, who again is a friend of the podcast, and actually I'm pretty sure Kylie Orr's episode is our number
it
one
is.
episode
It
on
is.
Bookshop.
It just keeps coming up. People just keep finding it and playing it. So go back and listen to Kylie Orr's, one of our very first ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, super, super popular. And I think it's because Kylie's always been very honest. And she actually has a newsletter Substack that says, if I'm being honest. So she's honest about,
Sorry, is it called If I'm Being
I'm
Honest?
pretty sure.
Oh, I
Kylie
love
can
that.
tell me if that's wrong. I'm hoping she'll listen. But yeah, she posted up last week about she amazingly was longlisted for the Furphy Literary Award, which is a really tough short story competition. It's one of the biggest major Australian competitions. I think it might be global actually. So
Mhm.
to be longlisted is incredible. And
Yeah.
I think when you get those wins,
Mm,
like you have to sit with that. But then you always,
mm.
as a human, go, well, I want to be shortlisted. And then if you're
Yeah.
shortlisted, you go, well, I want to win.
Mm.
Kylie posted up that she did not get shortlisted and felt disappointment about not being shortlisted, and mentioned that she's been in the top 20% of Varuna fellowships. Varuna being a really difficult residency to get and it's very highly competitive. So
Mhm.
to be in the top 20% is also incredible. You know, like that's a win. But on the flip side, there's that disappointment, and when you're rejected, I know there's a lot of people who are feeling that because Varuna, I think, announced their residencies just recently. But what I loved about Kylie's post, and I think this really resonates with probably lots of authors, is that I'm just going to quote her here because she's written it. It's perfect. You know, oftentimes she says, I hear no, which stings, but it doesn't stop me. Most things you enter, you won't win, but that doesn't make it a waste. Backing yourself matters, being read matters.
Mhm.
I just
Yep.
love that.
Mhm.
You're
No, that's
being
beautiful
read,
words.
you're being seen, you're
Mhm.
backing yourself.
Mhm.
Nothing is a waste.
No, no, I agree. And this thing of being a waste, and I just want to point out again that Kylie Orr's multi-published
That's
and
right.
she's still getting rejections. And I think that's important. And I know it's hard when you're in the, depths of feeling really disappointed in the whole thing and potentially wanting to give up. But because, I've heard that a bit lately too about from authors just thinking, why am I even still doing it? And I
Yeah.
think, and look, the problem of being disappointed in this industry, I think, is timeless. But and so is the advice, I think, and so I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record, but absolutely just I think probably remembering why you started it in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
What are you doing it for? Are you doing it to get a multi-book deal? Then that's absolutely not the right reasons, and that's not enough to keep you going. And maybe you should, we all want multi-book deals though, but it definitely wasn't for that. You picked up your
Mhm.
pen or you started typing because you loved it or you had a story to tell, and I think it's just going back to those roots, maybe
Yes.
um, taking that idea of being signed off the pedestal. Do you know what I mean? And just being
Mm.
like, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it again, thinking about why I started because I love it. And it may take a long time and it may take, all my efforts, or I may decide to even have a little break and re-energize myself on it. But just, not having that as your final goal. And I liken it to, I was talking to Danny V about this actually on the podcast just last week. I liken writing to, being an artist. If there's people who paint and they could paint every day or they can paint every weekend, or there's people who cross stitch,
Mm.
putting my finger up. Me, I don't cross stitch so I can enter some amazing, and I don't really do much of it. I just want to point the preface with that. But I don't do that. I don't do my paint by numbers because I want to enter it into a artist competition and have an exhibition at a famous art gallery and earn money from it. I do it because I enjoy it. And so people paint because they enjoy it. People, do lots of craft because they enjoy it. They make things because they enjoy it, and they don't have that big goal. So we write because we enjoy it, and we're just going to remember that and sort of maybe come back to that and you know still have that hope and dream of having that big goal of being published one day or getting another deal, but
That's right.
writing to do it just for the love of it, I think.
And I think if, as authors, I mean, all of us, you and I both, Tina, have experienced rejections.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
just part of the parcel, isn't it? And if we were to give up because of those rejections, we wouldn't be here right now having
Yeah, that's
published
right.
our books. Like but it's really hard in the moment. It's easy for
Mm,
us to say
mm,
in hindsight because we can look back and
hmm.
say,
Hmm.
well, it was all part of a path
Hmm.
to getting our book deals, and
Yeah.
that's what was happening. But when you're in the thick of it, in that
Mm,
sort of
yeah.
full feelings and
Yeah.
questioning whether you're any good or if you're,
Mm,
I think you're exactly right, going back to the root and going, why am I doing this? Because let me ask you, Tina, I'm interested. If you did not get your deal with Nika,
mm,
if you were still trying and still seeking publication,
hmm.
would you keep writing?
Yes. Yeah, I would, because I've written though for a very long time. I've written my whole life, really. I had a big break, when I was at uni, I was in my 20s and stuff, but I have written my whole life in some way or another, and it never was because of to be published ever. as a teenager, as a 10-year-old, it's, right, because you think you're going to sell a book. I literally would sit at a computer at home while my friends were playing, and I would write because I enjoyed it, and I had stories in my head, and they just had to come out. Um, so yeah, absolutely, I would, because I actually just thought of it as a hobby.
Mm.
I enjoyed doing it. What about you, Madeline?
Oh, I'd be still writing for sure. I
Mm,
never thought that I would get published. I just didn't have that concept as well.
mm,
Um, but I suppose having said all of this though, and I mean, I still had I still had hope though that one
mm.
day something might happen and that
Yeah.
I would be, because I
Hmm.
still think even after getting rejections and you want to lower your expectations and you want
Mm,
to protect yourself
hmm.
from those feelings of disappointment and
Mm,
rejection. And you can start to say to yourself, well, I'm writing because I love it and I don't
yeah.
have any expectations of publication. I think you still have to have hope though.
You do. No, you definitely do, because I think feeling hopeless in this, and then it absolutely won't work. I think
Mhm.
you do have to sort of have that plan and have that goal. And I don't know if we want to touch on some manifestation here, or
Yes, I was just
maybe
thinking
everyone
Jane
can just,
Tara.
I think everybody who's feeling the disappointment at the moment, maybe go and find the episode that we did with Jane Tara a couple of weeks ago.
Mm.
Um, it might be a nice little recalibration or a new way of potentially looking at it, because you do have wants and you have dreams, and that's 100% and absolutely um, imperative, I think, to know where you want to go so you can take the steps to get there.
Well, I was going to say though, Tina, on that, you've reminded me. I mean, while Jane Tara says you can hope and you can manifest and put it
Mm,
on your vision board, you still have
mm,
to take action.
mm,
And that's the
yeah.
key, isn't it? So it's
Mm,
things like what both of us have done over the last few years is get to know the industry, build a
mhm,
community, research, understand what a book deal is, what it means,
mm,
get your name out there. I guess what Kylie is saying, being read is just as important as like winning a prize or being shortlisted or being longlisted. You're being read. So
mm,
it is vulnerable putting your work out there. It's awful when you're rejected for these types of prizes, but you're putting your name out and it's just another step. So,
mhm,
and that goes to what Jane was saying about, yeah, you can manifest, you can hope, but you still need to take those practical steps as well.
mm. Yeah. And there can be 1,000 reasons why it wasn't a yes, or
Hmm.
why you weren't successful. A
Yes.
thousand reasons. And sometimes 999 of them had nothing to do with actually the quality of your writing or who you are as an author. It's to do with market, or it's to do with the number of people that applied. It's to do with how well it fit the criteria. There's so much. So it's, we've said before, it's a numbers game as well.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
just to remember that. And, sometimes it'd be helpful to go and have a little Google of famous authors who were rejected multiple times before they
Exactly.
became bestsellers. That's also helpful. I did find out tonight that there is, I think it's a Facebook community that is
Yes.
like the 100 Rejections Club or something like that. So anyone who's had 100 rejections or more can join this elite Facebook club. So go and have a look for it. If you haven't had 100 rejections, make that your goal. Make that your goal, and then you can become part of this really awesome group.
And you might get
Um,
one yes as well. And
yeah.
that makes all the difference.
Or you're improving your writing every single time
Exactly.
you're submitting it. So, and I think everybody who's listening to the pod who are authors, they know all these things too. But sometimes it's a good little reminder. Um, things will ebb and flow, and you will ebb and flow, and your feelings will ebb and flow with it. But if you enjoy it and you enjoy the community, like, why would you stop doing that? You know?
Exactly. The community is the best part. And that's what I've heard from some of our debut crew authors as well, who just saying like, despite all the perhaps disappointment, the things that have happened to them this year that haven't gone
Mm,
great and haven't gone their way, and they've felt a little bit disappointed because, that's just natural. Having the community and finding the community has been a surprise and the best part about all of this.
mm-hmm,
So if you are feeling that way, reach out to your community. It can be the writing community or just your friends as well and family.
mm-hmm,
And we should start like, I don't know, our own community, book deal community, Tina. We
mm-hmm.
thinking about setting up a Patreon in future and
Mm,
bringing people along who want a bit of extra book deal
yeah, yeah,
things
that's
as
a good
well,
idea.
and
Hmm.
starting a bit of a club to talk with writers about their goals and what they want to do, and if it's something that we can assist with. So we should think about that.
Yeah, we should do. We'll put that back on the agenda.
Zoom with Tina and Madeline. Talk about your book deal.
Yes. Tell us your stories, your success stories as well. So yeah, I think that's yeah, so that's my top tips anyway. Go away and Google some famous authors
Mm,
that got rejected many times. Um, but also, yes, just remembering this is the process, isn't it? And remembering why you love it and maybe
mhm,
focus on those things, the community and just the joy of writing and
mhm.
whatever happens, happens.
That's right. And don't feel afraid to share, like Kylie. I think Kylie's very
Mm,
courageous.
mm-hmm.
Don't feel afraid to share that. That might actually be quite cathartic and helpful.
Mm,
I think
yep.
that's my top tip.
Yeah.
Because
And
I think,
helpful for others, not just
oh,
yourself by sharing it. Yeah.
yes, yes, I agree. And because I think everyone's in this together, and Instagram often does, it's a, shows a curated version of people's lives. And
Mm,
I mean, this is partly why I'm taking a bit of a break from Instagram at the moment as well, because there's a lot there, and it's quite distracting and significant. So
mhm.
I think that even though I'm taking a break, I'm obviously still doing book deal. That's how I saw Kylie's post. Not
Well,
my own
it's priorities.
Instagram. Got to keep myself accountable, otherwise my husband will be like, "What were you doing on Instagram?" So maybe for some people, it's taking a break from social media as well. Just embrace that.
Yes. Yes.
Work out
Because
what's
it's
important.
very hard. It's very hard to deal with those feelings of um not achieving what you want when other people are posting up all these incredible things that are happening to them. And yeah, like you said, it's not always you don't know what's behind that.
That's right. So maybe that's my top tip then. Take a break from socials if you feel like you need it.
Yep.
Step
Yep.
away for a few weeks, even a few days, and just go back to what you were saying, Tina. Go to the root causes, like what's driving you to write? What do you
Mm,
love about writing?
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
get back to that original, authentic self of yourself as a writer.
Yes, and if you have any tips, anybody who's listening for our authors that are listening as well, who are going through this time, please let us know how you have worked through it. I know we also have lots of our episodes where we've asked authors what did they do after a rejection, and I think 99% of the time they say, "Yep, sit with it for a bit.
Mhm.
It happens,
Feel sorry for
and
yourself for a
then suck
bit.
it up and move on."
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So.
Exactly. Exactly. On something a bit more positive, are you reading
Hmm.
any good books at the moment, Tina?
Oh, I've got a few on the go and I'm so conflicted. And I don't like to have too many on the go, but I do at the moment. But the two that I brought away with me camping
Yes.
is We Saw What You Started by
Mhm.
Carla Salmon, which is a
Oh,
YA,
yes.
and I do love a
Yes.
good YA, which is amazing, which only came out just the last week or so. And I went to her
Yes. I did
incredible
hear
book
that.
launch on the
Mhm.
Gold Coast, which was so fun. And I'm also reading R.I.P. Nanny Tobbins by our other lovely debut crew member, Lucy Stevens.
Oh, yes. I've
And
seen
that's
that
really
too.
fun. Yeah, that's a middle grade, really fun. And I'm in just kind of halfway through both of them and trying to,
I love that. You're
oh,
balancing both.
yes, I'm trying to decide. But I am going to interview Carla very soon for the book deal. So I
Oh,
might finish her one first and then keep going with Nanny Tobbins. So
that's
what
great.
about you? What are you
Well,
reading?
we'll stick with the debut theme.
Mm,
I'm reading Stillwater by Tanya
mm,
Scott, which is coming out at the end of this month, actually. So I got an early copy of it, and oh my gosh, it is amazing. It's
mm-hmm,
a it's a thriller set in Melbourne, um, although there is a bit of a country aspect to it. But it's so funny because Tanya, I don't, you've met Tanya,
mm-hmm, yep,
lovely,
mm-hmm.
sweet,
She's great.
kind,
Mm-hmm,
beautiful human.
mm-hmm,
She's like a doctor and a medical trainer, and she's so, so wonderful. And this book,
mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
like It's like there's like it's this very conflicted, morally grey kind of character, main character.
Oh,
Oh, Luke is his name.
Tanya. Yeah.
I know, and like it's a bit of a badass book. Like I'm
Mm.
loving it, but I'm also like, where is this coming from, Tanya?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
mob bosses and guns
wow.
and all
Oh,
sorts.
Tanya, we're going to have to talk about this when we see you next.
So I'm gonna
Very
message, yeah,
exciting.
I'm definitely very keen to finish. I'm halfway through and I'm just flying through it. So I think this is gonna be a big hit.
Great. Okay.
Stillwater.
Okay. Give it. Can you lend it to me afterwards?
Yeah, I will. I'll give it to you when you're here in Melbourne.
Okay. Awesome. Yes. Which is soon. Which is soon,
Very
actually.
soon.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
enjoy. Don't get murdered, please. Let me know when you're
okay.
safely back home and enjoy seeing Nika and the storm, not the missing storm.
It's
Next
very
week.
present.
I'm going to Dimmicks tomorrow, so I'm gonna see if I can find it. Well, I think I
Awesome.
will definitely find it. And I'm gonna take some photos and I'll send it to
Oh, thank you.
you.
Oh,
All right,
it was
enjoy the
good to
rest of your
chat.
trip.
I will. Thanks. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Book Deal podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the pod so you can receive updates as soon as our new eps drop. And to keep up to date with what the pod is doing, you can also find us on Instagram.